Hey guys, Brandon here, welcome back to Retro Dodo. Now there's a wide number of handhelds out there for adults and even handhelds for the younger audience, for example the Nintendo Switch Lite. But is there a cheap retro handheld out there for kids that won't bust the bank? Well, I'm here to tell you that there is, and it's called the Powkiddy V90, a retro handheld that I'm calling the best for kids under the age of 10. And the best part, it's only $40. For those of you that are new to Chinese retro handhelds, these things have been growing in popularity over the last couple of years, all increasing in price and in power. But this little fella here from Powkiddy has decided to target those that don't want to spend a pretty penny on a flash new handheld and instead has gone for the clamshell design as one of its biggest features. Now, we've featured the Powkiddy V90 across the channel before, but this is a video dedicated to those that have no idea what these things are. But I can tell you, this is one of the best handhelds on the market for under $40. It might not look great or have the best build quality, but what do you expect from a handheld that costs the same as a round of drinks? The Powkiddy V90 features a 3-inch LCD display, 4 shoulder buttons, USB-C charging, and it comes preloaded with a bunch of old retro games so you can play on it straight out of the box. The 1000 mAh battery inside would also get you a few hours of gameplay out of it too. It's not the best, but it's enough for those car journeys or when grandma talks too much and your kid fancies catching Pokemon instead of talking to her. The device itself is made to look like the classic Game Boy Advance SP from 2003. The plastic used is cheap but durable enough to take lots of bumps and scratches. And because of the lowish quality plastic used, the hinge can actually take a lot of beating too, and even when we put some force on it, it just doesn't want to snap. Instead it kind of bends. And you know, kids just seem to like to break things nowadays, so having that flexible hinge is pretty good. On the Powkiddy V90 you will find a very large thick D-pad which is perfect for disgusting little crisp-filled children fingers, and the action buttons sit out of the shell nicely too. And the reset button is pretty obvious, making it easy to switch between emulators and games. When you turn on the Powkiddy V90, you'll be greeted with the not so nice operating system, but a kid will not know the difference between a good one and a bad one anyway. What makes the V90 a good choice for kids is that it's easy to understand. Simply select the games console you want to play, press A, and then you'll find a wide range of preloaded games from Pokemon to Zelda to Kirby, even Sonic the Hedgehog is on this thing. Powkiddy should not be loading games on this thing as it's technically illegal for them to do so, but it's not illegal for you to buy it from them. So it kind of, the blame just goes on Powkiddy, and because of the weird laws in China, they technically get away with it. But anyway, a list of games will be waiting for you, and it's as simple as pressing A to play them, and then that loads the emulator, which then loads the game's ROM file. The Powkiddy V90 isn't very powerful, and even though it has some PlayStation 1 games installed, it doesn't play them very well. But everything older than that, like the Game Boy, Mega Drive, Game Gear, and Neo Geo, perform very well. There will be some slight screen tearing in some of the games, but the average kid won't notice it because it's so minimal. What I'll do now actually is show you some gameplay of consoles that feature on the Powkiddy V90, so feel free to skip this if you don't want to see the gameplay. As you saw, everything worked well apart from PlayStation 1, and that's because the chip used inside can't power such a high demanding console. The V90 is targeted at those that like to stick to Game Boy games and old Sega games, which in my personal opinion features some of the best retro games anyway. The screen could be better and has poor viewing angles, but a typical kid will have this 2 inches away from his face, which will be fine in all honesty. It's also backlit so they can sit in the sun and in the dark and still see it fine. And finally, there is a headphone jack too, so you won't have to constantly hear the annoying 8-bit noises being blared out behind you in the car. Chuck them some headphones and you'll have a couple of hours peace in no time. Overall, the Powkiddy V90 is a cheap and cheerful handheld that can play a wide number of old retro games. It features okay build quality that can withstand a beating, and it looks good. Any young gamer will absolutely love to have this. There are links below for those of you that want to pick it up, and do remember that it is coming from China, so it may take a couple of weeks. And if you do enjoy this content and want to see more retro handheld gaming reviews, then hit subscribe and they'll be in your feed in no time. As per usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.